Hello everyone, welcome to Redmen TV Daily News Time. I'm going to kick it off in the most obvious place, and that is Mo Salah, the wonderful Egyptian himself, has been named PFA Player of the Year at the awards ceremony yesterday, and if Twitter rumours are to be believed, just generally through leaks a day earlier. Yeah, plenty of pictures doing the rounds of him holding the trophy, cradling it like a newborn baby. Doesn't he look wonderful? Something interesting that follows off from this, actually, I want to quickly draw attention to. A little bit further down the old Twitter feed. James Carroll, works for Liverpool Football Club, makes a note that Jordan Henderson attended last night's PFA Awards at the request of Mo Salah, who wanted to have Liverpool represented as a team at the event to share the honour with him. Klopp agreed to the request as captain, Henderson went down. I've made very hard work of that. Very hard work. You could have just read it yourself and read it a lot neater than I did. But yeah, good to see Jordan Henderson. I did wonder why he was there, to be fair, 'cause it wasn't like he was up for an award. As much as I love Jordan, it's not been a great season for him, although much improved in the last few weeks, certainly. So no, fantastic. And yeah, great to see Mo Salah pick up the award. I was a little surprised, if I'm honest, given that the voting happens sort of mid-season, January, February, isn't it? I thought Kevin De Bruyne was likely to be the favourite, but look, fair play. We give footballers a lot of stick for, for stupidity, basically, and yeah, well done footballers, professional footballers, for having the intelligence to pick the obvious answer in Mo Salah for PFA Player of the Year. Great. Keep your thoughts coming on that and anything we're going to discuss in the comments, and I'll come to them a little bit later on in the show. We are going to be discussing a potential decrease in the fee for Naby Keita. We're going to be talking transfers as well. Yes, 2 pieces of actual transfer rumours, but good rumours, nice rumours that seem to be sourced. Stay tuned. So we're going to start then with the rest of the show with Naby Keita. Paul Joyce at the Times. Now, we don't have the full access to this article because he really wants to pay money to make the Times a thing. But Liverpool set to save on Keita. Set to save millions because of the way the deal is structured. If he was to qualify with Leipzig for the Champions League, it cost more money. But as it stands, and you can just about make this out, thankfully, it's understood Liverpool will pay about 48 million for the midfield if Leipzig end up 7th or below. That rises to 52.75 if they qualify for the Europa League, which they're on course to do, and 59 if they end up placing the Champions League. And I was like, oh, well, aren't they a really good side? Let's have a look. We know that it's not gone well for them in Europe. In the league as well, they've struggled a little bit, currently 6th in the Bundesliga. And, as mentioned, it's not outside the realms of possibility. They could finish a little bit higher, still a few games to go. They could still finish in the top 4, although that would be more difficult. It is equally just as likely they could finish 7th or lower. So that bodes well for Liverpool. Look, we don't care as fans whether Liverpool save 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 million pound or whatever on a footballer, but it is good. And if it was to happen, it's another big tick in the box for the people who sort Liverpool's transfers. They're getting it right more often than they're getting it wrong in the last few seasons. And Liverpool end up saving money because they've structured the deal thusly. I think that, that there will have to be some credit go to Liverpool. Right. Transfers, Si?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Anfield edition, a relatively new addition to the Liverpool pantheon when it comes to online media, what have you. But yeah, good lads, nevertheless. I've put this out in Liverpool close to agreeing a fee for Norwich's James Madison. Now, James Madison has had an absolute belter of a season in the Championship, but this is quite interesting. Obviously, take all of these things with a pinch of salt. When it comes to transfer rumours, they are what they are, unless you see them come from, Paul Joyce, etc. They are what they are. They are rumours and speculation, but nevertheless, James Madison, exclusive reveal to a source close to Anfield edition, that he expects to be a Liverpool player next season. He told us he expects to be alongside one of his best friends, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, that's not a quote. It sounds like a quote, but it's not a quote. He's been close friends with Alexander-Arnold since an early age. They share a room together while on England under-21s duty. That's interesting stuff. He's bagged 15 goals and 8 assists and 47 appearances for the Canaries in all competitions this season. Pipped in the post by Fulham's Ryan Sessegnon for EA Sports Player of the Season. And they're also going on to say, actually, that the Liverpool are in crunch talks with Ryan Sessegnon's representatives. I'm going to level with you. If we signed James Madison and Ryan Sessegnon this summer, I know everyone still wants us to go out and spend mega money on mega stars. I think we're kind of doing that with Naby Keita, to be fair. We could go and secure two of the best up-and-coming young talents in Britain. That would be absolutely amazing. Given how good our management team is at getting the best out of players, I would be absolutely over the moon with that. But let me know your thoughts. James Madison in particular, he kind of come out of, I'll be honest, I didn't really know who he was until the last couple of weeks, but you can't argue with what he's doing. We've been saying this, if you're going to play in the Championship and you want to play for Liverpool, you need to be the best player in the Championship or in the bracket of the best players. Interesting, you see Harry Wilson's an absolute goal machine for Hull. He kind of falls back into that as well. Liverpool could end up in a very, if they get these deals across the line, we could end up with some very, very exciting players next season. Right, one thing which I'm going to move on to now before I get into your comments is, as with all these things, as was the entirety of last summer, treat this for what it is. It comes from our good friend Graham Kelly on Twitter, and he says, last time I was apprehensive to tweet that we were going to sign a player was Ox. That one worked out well, as he's probably my favourite player. Let's hope it works out again. Butland will more than likely sign for LFC. Now, we know Graham Kelly was the one who basically had more hits than flops last summer when it came to getting Liverpool's transfer news right. I'm pretty sure he definitely predicted Virgil van Dijk. I'm pretty sure he had Keita, and I feel as though he might have had Salah.
I think he had Goretzka as well, which is...
He said Goretzka as well, to be fair. So like I said, but more hits than flops. Graham is not a journo. He is not. He doesn't work for the football club. He's just a very, very nice man and a very, very popular man who knows a lot of people. And I think what we've seen last summer is that because clubs have gone on lockdown with a lot of information, they don't talk to journalists as much, not directly. They don't give stuff away to journos anymore. A lot of the big transfer news kind of came through weird back channel sources. And Graham, it took a little bit of a while for vindication on the Virgil van Dijk stuff. Look, maybe he does this for a bit of a laugh. Graham doesn't take life too seriously. He is a really, really good fella, and he gets a lot of abuse for this. Personally, I think he loves it. I think he loves the fume. If he hadn't, he wouldn't. What I mean is, Graham's not the kind of fella who just invents stuff and then says it. Someone will have told him it, and then that's down to whether that then carries through or whatever. But yeah, there you go. What would you think about Liverpool signing Jack Butland? Personally, I'm not that arsed about Jack Butland. I would rather see us keep Danny Ward as our backup goalkeeper. And I'll be honest, I think if we're signing Butland, that's all he's going to be. And I say, not all he'll ever be, but he's being brought in as a number 2 to Loris Karius. But interesting, Jay Riley, another good friend of ours, gets on in the replies and he says, I've heard Simon has been well known for a year. He's wanted by the club. Won't go down too well with the fans, but it is what it is. Just what we pay, really. Stoke won 40 apparently, but reckon we could get him for 30 if they get relegated. Midnight out, Butland in. And then goes on and says, Oblak and Alisson will be 60+ million each. Butland maybe half that. Jay Riley is the other one. He has got mate not as well connected as Graham, but still a lovely fella and again a good friend of the show. Love both of these gents, and I hope they don't get too much stick if this doesn't quite come through. But yeah, we're going to get to the comments in a moment. Si's going to be lining a few up. Before I do, just have a quick look. The subscriber count as it is 239,404. We are closing in rapidly on 240,000, which is nice, but I want 250,000 by the end of the season. So if you're watching this video and you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, it's dead easy. You go across. If you're on the channel page itself, you literally just have to click the subscribe button. If you're on a video page, click the subscribe button wherever you find it. If not, just go and track it down. Click subscribe, the Redmen TV YouTube on Google if you're really struggling for it, and I'm sure you'll find the answer to that problem. But yeah, let's get us to 250,000. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It makes no great odds to anything other than it's a nice round number. Liverpool are doing brilliantly, and let's celebrate it with a 250,000 subscriber party at the end of the season, hopefully with a big piece of silverware as well. Right, comments. Let's get stuck into it.
So the Jack Butland thing, as expected, not many people are a fan of that rumour. Just loads of people saying no, not Butland, definitely not Butland. James Giblin says, I can't be arsed with Butland. Don't get me wrong, he's a decent keeper, but is he better than Karius? I don't buy a goalkeeper being a priority, and I don't see Butland wanting to be a reserve keeper.
Yeah, I mean, it is the thing. I don't think he will be a reserve goalkeeper. I think we'll do something similar to what we've done, and I think what we've seen. Look at Loris Karius. We've managed him spectacularly to get him into this level of form, and it might just be that look, we're really impressed by him. We're really impressed by Karius because we've seen some terrible goalkeepers on Liverpool over the years, and we've seen some terrible form from him, and we've seen some terrible form from Mignolet. We've seen some good form from both. maybe the management team have gone, he's good, but we can do better. And maybe they've identified something in Butland that is just that. And maybe he possesses the raw skills. I don't know. I don't feel he does. I'll level with you. I've not seen a great deal of Butland, and I'm of the vociferous opinion that you should never buy an English goalkeeper, ever. Never, 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 because the media scrutiny on them is just too much. It's senseless too much. Now, good players are able to rise above regardless of the scrutiny because world class is world class. But I just think the press love to tear it down. It's a very easy position to be torn down as well. So we'd have to have incredible mental fortitude, and maybe he has. And if that's the case, fine, get him in, and then see what he can do. Plenty of years left to improve as well.
Omar Aswas on Mo Salah says, the greatest of all time, the king, the man, the legend, running down the wing, Salah, the Egyptian king. Sounds like he's a big fan of Mo there. I'm sure he was very happy with the result last night.
Beautiful.
Simo says, first shiny pot of the season, well done Mo. Here's hope there's a bigger one on the way next month.
Yeah, I love that. I love everyone see Klopp's video that they obviously sent to him on the award, and he's like, good, congratulations on your award, but you know, we've got a game in a couple of days, so you know, hurry back, mate. And he's right, we've got to focus on bigger things now. Cheetah 86617, how much is 250,000 subscribers worth? It's worth fuck all, mate. It's worth absolutely fuck all, but it's got an emotional value to me, and because we've got, I don't even know if it's in shop, but we've got 100,000 subscriber plaque. You don't get the next one till 1 million, so we're miles off that. But I think 250,000, and I think given the time frame in which we've gone from 100 to 250k, I think that's something worth celebrating. We'll have a little, we're doing a live show. It's not been announced yet. Details to follow. Redmen TV live in a couple of weeks' time in Liverpool. Come down and have a celebratory 250k drink with us. More details to follow. Follow at the Redmen TV on Twitter. Let's do a couple more, please, Si.
Yeah, so on James Madison, Tyler Hopkins says, just saying, if we buy that Norwich player, he won't even play. So why ruin his career, letting him sit on the bench and rot?
I disagree. I mean, if like now, you've got Grujic there as an example of like it's not quite worked for him, and maybe it yet will work for him. But of course, you've got to speculate a little bit on players. I think when we bought Andy Robertson in, it looked like he was just going to sit on the bench all season and maybe not even get a game. He wasn't even getting on the bench at times for us. Look what we've made of him. You get that lad in, and I think Klopp and his team have a far clearer idea of what they want from this. This is not Liverpool reinventing themselves anymore. This is Liverpool honing what they do. So if they feel he's a player that they should add, then we should absolutely add him as far as I'm concerned. And let's be honest as well, getting British homegrown players in. I know people roll their eyes on it, and I don't know whether that's, I don't know, I can't speak to where people are from with it, but I see a lot of people rolling their eyes at that. I think look at some of the best, most consistent, most passionate players that Liverpool have got on the books. We've got a great British course this side, and to be fair, you need to have that. Not just because there's some sort of prosaic notion of like local players get it more, although to some extent they do. You have to have homegrown players as a requirement. If you want the best of the best in terms of foreign talent, you want to be able to have as many of those foreign players in your squad as possible. You've got to have your full quota of homegrown players so we can get the best young talent as well. Why wouldn't you do that? One more, please.
Milesy20 says, wait lads, no one wanted Robbo and he's now an absolute god. Maybe we sign Butland and he turns to De Gea 2.0. I'm not doubting Klopp signings no more. Yeah,
absolutely. And then just look at the signings we've made since Jurgen Klopp's come in, and it's easy to pick. It's dead easy to pick the ones that haven't worked because they are so isolated. You look at the one, not just the ones that he signed that have been brilliant, but the ones that weren't great signings from the previous regime that we've made great as well. Bobby Firmino being the absolute prime example of that. There's no way if Brendan Rodgers was in charge, he'd still be at Liverpool. He'd have got binned off and he'd probably be doing it all right somewhere else. But we've made him into an absolutely exceptional centre-forward. And I would bank on Jurgen and his men to do a lot more of that. Anyway, listen, loads of people asking us if there's a coach greeting going on ahead of the Roma game. Honestly, I don't know. We've not been told anything definitively or not. All I'll say is that and we'll be doing a new show tomorrow in the build-up to it. We'll probably do another countdown to kick off. But I'm going to warn people now. If you're going to Liverpool, you're coming to Liverpool and you want to support the team, go and support the team. If I see anyone doing anything, I will have a word. But please, do not be a dickhead. Do not be a dickhead. Do not throw glass bottles and objects that can cause some serious damage at the coach. Just stupid behaviour, and you're going to ruin it for everyone. But yeah, we'll hammer that point home, I'm sure, on tomorrow's show. But yeah, Anyway, loads of things to get optimistic about, loads of things to get excited about. Come over to the redmentv.com. The final word show from West Brom is incredibly cathartic. We're looking ahead, of course, to Roma and beyond as well. I cannot wait. I hope you can't wait as well. See it all there. Drop a like on this video if you literally cannot sleep with anticipation for this game, and I shall see you back here tomorrow.